What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another Legacy Live segment. As always, my co-host Ivan Orozco joined me. Bro, today we have a really controversial topic. I can't wait to talk about it, bro. We're going to talk about the biggest scam there is on retirement, right?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of social media talk. There's been a lot of TikToks made about people talking about infinite banking being a scam, talking about IULs being a scam. I honestly disagree with it, one, and we're going to get into it why. And two, let's just be honest and let's talk about the real scam here in the United States. And we're going to start by talking about 401k and the pension plan, California pension plan, especially since we're in the state of California, right? So to me, the biggest scam is 401k. That's the biggest scam ever, because every time you get hired, after the 30, 90 days, they give you a packet. Hey, by the way, you want to contribute to your 401k for your retirement? You're like, well, yeah, how does it work? Oh, you just put in whatever you want to put in and your employer matches you. Oh, okay. That's it. So every paycheck, they take a certain amount of money, right? Right, Ivan?
Correct.
So where does that money go? One, which we're going to break it down.
Yeah.
Okay? And does that money has potential to grow? Yes, it does. But it also has a potential to lose money like it did in 2006 or
2001 and
2001?
2007.
On the house crisis, right?
Yeah.
A lot of teachers lost their pension. A lot of people lost their pension plan, their 401k. It went down to the drain, right?
Up to 60% for most cases, yeah.
Right. So that's why, for me, the biggest scam is actually the 401k and the pension plans, right? Now, before we dive into that, going back to infinite banking. Look, a lot of people say that infinite banking sucks. But let's be real. The Rockefellers, right, from New York, they actually, let me see where I have it in my notes. So John D. Rockefeller was the founder of Standard Oil, the largest fortune in history in the United States of family's wealth, right? They actually established an office, a family office, as an investment for real estate and other entrepreneur ideas they had. The number one thing that I see that they structured really good and that they were able to utilize is life insurance policies as tools for their wealth that allow them to pass assets on generations to generations to generations. So what that happened was they kept their grandchildren rich, and then their children. So it's just generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
So what do you call that? Infinite banking,
Yeah.
right? Now, Walt Disney, he had trouble getting a loan, a business loan to create what everyone goes to be happy, Walt Disney, right?
Happiest place on
Disneyland.
earth.
Yeah, the happiest place in the world. He got shut down by so many banks. What did he do? He pulled out money from his whole life insurance policy, and he was able to fund his own business,
Yes.
right? Now, JCPenney. I didn't know JCPenney, had an insurance plan. JCPenney was able to pull up to $3 million. $3 million of his life insurance policy, to pay salaries for his business, to pay leases and all that stuff. So infinite banking, does it work? Yes, it does. Obviously, you got a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of great investors, a lot of great millionaires, billionaires making good money using this type of product. So when I hear like, oh, it's a scam, it just amazes me and blows my mind off. Like, how can you say it's a scam? I've seen those videos where they break it down, they call insurance companies and all this. And you know what? The sad part is that it's not even the insurance company's fault, right? It's not the client's fault. It's the agent's fault. And it's the agent's upline fault. And it's the agent's MD, fault. It goes down the line. Yeah. But at the end of the day, the one that gets shit on is the agent that write the policy and the insurance company. And they are look like the evil persons, right?
Yeah.
The way I see it is, if you're going to do infinite banking, make sure you have the money to do it, one, because you will see potential growth. Obviously, you see all this famous entrepreneurs, they did it, and they were able to utilize that money for their own benefit, right? Mm-hmm. The last one I see is, what's his name? The McDonald's guy, bro. The guy that took the McDonald brothers
Kroc.
for the ride, Ray Kroc. obviously you guys seen the movie, right? I saw the movie and I was like, man, this guy really screwed those two dudes over.
Yeah.
You know, he in that transition of taking over McDonald's, he actually ended up pulling money out of two insurances policies. One was his, one was his wife, right? To keep funding the business.
And they even talk about it in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an amazing product. Infinite banking does work. You just gotta talk to the right people, and you gotta just make sure you ask the right questions. Don't start an account with $100. It will grow, but shit, you know, it could grow more if you put in more into it, right? But we're gonna dive into that right now, Ivan. Right? You're gonna dive into that, but right now, Ivan, 401k. That's the biggest scam that I see. It pisses me off because people think they own that money. In reality, they don't. They don't own that money. There's people out there, hardworking people that are getting to retire the next 5 years, and they think they have 100 to 200, maybe $1 million in that bank. They're not even aware. They don't even know how to use it. Maybe the only time they use it is when they pull money out to like down payment for a home or to pay their kids' wedding or to pay for their kids to go to college, right? But then they're like, well, what do you mean? I got to pay it back. I thought it was my money. Yeah, unfortunately, you got to pay it back.
And with interest.
And with interest. Oh, but by the way, you're paying yourself back interest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And guess what? Now you're putting $50 out of your paycheck for your 401k. And guess what? They're taking out whatever loan amount you took out of your paycheck. So your paycheck is smaller now. So to me, that's the biggest scam ever because people out there think they own it and they actually don't own it. People out there are not educated. Not even the HR department knows how it works. All they do is like, hey, call the 1-800 number and they'll guide you, right?
Yeah.
Nosotros, la raza, some of us are not even too savvy to comprehend, like, oh, where do I put my money at? How do I move stocks? How do I do this? I'm aware that there's a lot of youngsters that I've sat down with that have stocks, bonds, which are great. You know, obviously they're in the market, they're making money, they're losing money. But those individuals that I talk to, they're up at 4 a.m, moving their money around. So those people are savvy, right? I had one client in San Jose. He's like, you know what, Jose? I like what you're offering me, but I don't think I'm going to make that move yet. Hey, no worries, man. At least you're young enough to ride the roller coaster right now, and you're on it. A lot of people are not on it like you are, but you're on it. Sounds like you know what you're doing. Ride the roller coaster. Now you know there's a product out there that could save your pennies down the future. When you're ready, we'll secure every penny, every dollar, right?
Yeah.
But at least he knows, and I know there's individuals out there they're taking the 401k a lot serious than our generation. Our generation, they're just working. Saber cuánto tengo. I had a client we helped out a client that he was there 32 years and he only had $150,000. And he was in shock.
Yeah.
So all my money.
Oh, and it's taxable.
Yes.
So he doesn't have 150,000.
And how was his response? How was his reaction when you broke that down to him? It was upsetting.
Very.
And it was upsetting for me to see somebody that, one, worked his entire life, two, not being educated how his retirement works, and three, thinking that $150,000 is going to be enough for him to retire for the rest of his years. You know, the gentleman is 65, 66. It's just like, wow. Yeah. You know, living here in California, inflation, cost of living.
Probably lasts them 2-3 years
3
at
years,
most.
Right? Yeah, at most. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people are not aware of that, right? And that's what pisses me off, that people are talking so bad about infinite banking, where in reality it has helped all these entrepreneurs a lot. Well, they could argue against me as far as, well, they have money. Yeah, they have money, and they're smart. You know, we could do the same thing, even if we start with a little bit less money. It doesn't have to be millions, but it could be a certain amount of money. Maybe a car payment. Maybe if you could put a car payment away, I guarantee you down the road that's going to make a big difference, right?
Yeah.
So, Ivan, please explain to us how actually a 401k works.
All right. So first off, you're giving permission to be blunt.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Totally permission to be blunt. And before you dive into it, I just want to clarify something I forgot to clarify. This podcast is not being sponsored by MaxFit. I just noticed that right now. So no affiliation at all. No credit.
Sorry,
so,
Chris.
It's actually being sponsored by Hoax Jerky, Beef Jerky. Hit up Maria for your jerky. I'll give her information at the end of the day. And also LC1 and Juan Avila. Anyways, go back to that.
All right. So you're giving permission to be blunt.
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard the term there's nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you copy the right cat.
Yes, I've heard.
Okay. So why are we listening to broke people on how to become rich? Here's the thing. A 401k is a tax code, first and foremost. It's an IRS-approved code. So if you go to the tax book, you open up to section 401, subsection K, that's your 401k. When it comes to the IUL, which we'll get into in a little while, I just want people to understand that the IUL has a tax code as well, which means it's IRS approved, not whoever's on this podcast or whoever's on this video on the internet approved. They're basically making people dumber, okay? And it's called the 7702A, okay? So people can actually look that up. They can Google it. I have it right here in front of me, and it shows life insurance. But when it comes to a 401k, what amazes me the most is that people will ask me 1,000,001 questions when it comes to one of the best products on this planet, which is the IUL, and they ask 0 questions on how their 401k works.
Right.
But yet they're complaining. Well, you should ask questions. It's your hard-earned, you're working for this money. Okay. So every time I sit down with a client and they tell me they have a 401k and they want me to explain to them what an IUL is, my first thing that I do is, would you let me first sell you a 401k the way they should have? And they're like, sure. And I go, and at the end, you tell me if you want to keep it or if you want to hear an alternative.
Right.
And you already know what they say at the end. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly, Jose, right now, how an actual 401k works. Okay, so I'm going to get my screen here, bring it down so I can draw, and here we go. So a 401k, basically what they're doing is they're taking money out of your paycheck and they're putting it into an account that will do this with the market. So let me ask you, Jose, do you like that?
No.
No. You just like the up part, but you don't like the down part.
Yes.
Okay, so I already have an X. Okay. If you don't mind me asking, Jose, how old are you right now?
I'm 41.
41. All right. 41 years old. The first rule of a 401k is what's called the 59.5 rule. Can you guarantee me, Jose, that between your age right now and 59 years of age, that you will not have a financial situation where you might need some money? No. Can you guarantee me that?
No, I can't.
So that means you might need to pull some money out. Okay. And if you do, there is a penalty plus your federal and your state taxes. The penalty off the bat, 10%. Federal depends on when you sit down with your CPA or tax preparer, how much how much they're going to charge you. Possibility, you're losing between 25 to 35% of whatever you pull out. Do you like that so far?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. So X on that. Now, if you need $1,000, you're literally going to have to pull out like $1,400, $1,300 to $1,400
to make up for the taxes deductions.
That is
stuff
correct.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the last rule of a 401k is the 73 rule. It used to be 70.5. Now they pushed it a little forward. Okay. What that means is by the age of 73, you have to do what's called an RMD, a required minimum distribution. You already have to start pulling money out. And if you don't, the day you go to sleep and then you wake up and you're 73 years old, your wife is surprising you with, new arthritis pain medicine and all that stuff, right? Yeah. So there's a penalty plus federal and state. Now.
So you're telling me, Ivan, that if I don't pull my money out at age 73, I'm still going to get penalized?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The IRS wants their money. Okay. So the penalty, let me ask you, you're older. They're forcing you to pull out money. Should the penalty be higher or lower than 10%?
Lower.
How much lower would you say?
It's the lowest it could be. I don't know, 1%, 2%.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, well, I'll say fortunately and unfortunately. It used to be last year 50%. They now want to be nice to you. So they dropped it down to 25%. And by the way, do taxes go up or down?
Go up.
So we don't know where you're going to be at in the future. Possibility, you're losing 45 to 65% of whatever's in your money.
Wow.
And you want to retire. And these people are here. By the way, I'm not going to say 401ks are all bad because they weren't meant for you and me. They were meant for CEOs earning over $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year that wanted to fall into a smaller tax bracket. This was created back in the 80s under Reagan. Okay? Because the market was great back then. There wasn't not much loss. So these CEOs and owners of companies were dumping money into their plans.
Right.
Now they're offering it to everybody. And it's not meant for everybody. Now, the only good news, if you want to call it good news, is that during your 60s, if you pull money out, there is no penalty, but there's still taxes. Keep in mind, Jose, that most people that say the infinite banking is a scam, when I look at this drawing, explain to me how a hardworking person that lives paycheck to paycheck is going to agree and sign for this if they sold it to them this way.
Nobody.
And you're right. HR just comes up to you, hands you a paper, say, how much do you want to contribute a month?
Yeah.
They never did a presentation for these employees.
They don't.
Oh, and by the way, I want to know how much money is in my 401k. Here's a phone number. Call Fidelity. Call Vanguard. Call these companies. They don't even help you.
They don't. And then one of the things, too, that I actually found out recently on this company, which I'm not going to name names, we'll throw nobody under the bus. I found out that company switched from one company to another, right? Employer. The owner's son put everybody's money on Aggressive. So what does that mean, Ivan? What does that mean? That means is the owner gets more of a cut or more profit, or what does that mean?
More tax benefits,
More
money on their pocket.
More money in their pocket. See, that's the reason why, bro. It's controversial because you have all these people saying infinite banking sucks. But look at it. He just broke it down in like less than 5 minutes of what a 401k is.
By the way, Jose, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but what do you think most people would say if I asked them if they love their job? What would they say?
Yes.
You think so? You think they love their job?
Oh,
Because all I see on social media is everybody like, oh my God, it's Monday. My God, it's Friday. I get to go home.
I only know a few people that love their job.
But the majority of people, do you think they love their jobs?
No.
But yet they put all their trust in their retirement, their life insurance, their dental, their vision, all that stuff on there.
Yeah.
People don't know they can get that on their own.
Yeah.
And carry it with them from job to job, from state to state, from generation to generation.
Yeah.
And then they complain that the rich people are becoming richer and we're becoming poor. Well, maybe we should Maybe we should start copying them. Again, if we start copying them, we're going to start leaving money behind to our families. They once started with zero. Mm-hmm. And now they're living off interest money.
Right.
Never touching the principal.
So we have an opportunity to change that cycle.
Oh, yes.
We have an opportunity to change the cycle because our parents, obviously, they were never taught that. And when I say people, I mean them at a certain age, like they're getting to 64, 65. Some of them are already retired. Some are still working because they realize their 401k is not going to be enough. For some of them, yeah, it's going to be enough, but to retire in Mexico, sell their house here.
I now understand why most Mexican women back in the days had 12, 13 kids. Because we were praying that one of them's going to make it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's their retirement plan.
Yeah.
One of these kids is going to sing, or one of these kids is going to act, or one of these kids is going to open up a business. You know what I mean? So yeah.
1978, November 6, 1978, was the first implementation of the 401k. 3 weeks after, it was labeled as a 401k. And it was part of the Revenue Act, and that went into effect in 1978, November 6th. So that's how it started. And it started as, like you mentioned, to benefit corporate America, not to benefit the employee, for them to save more on their taxes, right? And that, again, for me, 401k is the biggest scam. So you see right there, how it works. And that's not just the end of it. We're missing one thing. Probate.
So what happens is, I have a 401k. I have $100,000 in there. I die. Now, they expect that this money is going to go straight to my family like a life insurance plan because I put down a beneficiary. Well, unfortunately, this account is going to get frozen. No one can touch it. And it's going to go into an account that's called probate. In other words, the government's going to find out if me, Ivan, owes taxes, child support, bankruptcies, tickets, you name it, while my family is patiently waiting for this money. And that can take up to almost a year. Then, when they find out I owe nothing and I was squeaky clean, the first thing that comes out of here is going to be called death taxes. That can be up to 55%. And I say up to, doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be. It can be up to that amount. Now, let's just say they took out 55% out of here. That means my wife is now going to get $45,000. And when she gets this money, guess what they're going to do to her?
Don't tell me they're going to tax her.
They tax her. That money hasn't been taxed.
Oh, my God.
So my wife's only going to get $20, $25, $30,000, but I had $100.
Wow.
But you know what? That's not a scam, right?
Obviously not.
No. I mean, apparently people love giving money away to the IRS.
Right.
Because when you put the word "the" and IRS together, what does it spell?
I remember that one, but I can't think
Theirs.
of it. Theirs. Yeah, theirs.
It's theirs.
Yeah.
To me, that's the biggest scam.
Yeah.
We pay taxes on our money, on our paycheck, and we get this money that's tax-free. But then we pay taxes on our groceries, on gas, on everything. What do we really own? Mm-hmm. So why don't we start listening to where people, rich people, and a lot of smart people are doing where they're avoiding taxes. Mm-hmm. Yes, avoiding taxes with an IRS-approved product.
Right.
These products, these IULs, I didn't make them up. Mm-hmm. You didn't make them up. Mm-mm. And by the way, the company that we represent has been around for 175 years. Before California was California.
Right.
And the 401k started in 78.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That's when my sister was born. So the 401k has been around as long as my sister's been around. Okay. But you're going to trust something that just started versus something that's been around for over a century.
Yeah. And that's the whole misconception that we have nowadays. You know, I get what other people are doing, you know, bashing, you know, certain products out there. I get that they're doing it for content creation, more views, more likes, or to lure them in for them to get a better product out there, you know. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's like, no, let's break it down. Let's break it down in detail and go for them, because everybody has an opinion, right? And again, there it is, proof.
Look, you told me I could be blunt. There's this guy out in Florida that I guarantee you the only reason why he's batching that for IULs, he can't afford one. Number two, he's not even an agent. Yeah. He's making people as dumb as he is. Yeah. Straight up. And I hope he listens to this.
And again, there's a lot of products out there. There's stocks, there's bonds, there's mutual funds, there's what do they call it, government funds or state funds and stuff like that. If you're into that, which I have friends that are into it, they make money out of it, that's great. But you gotta be on it. You can't just put $100,000 and pray to God that those 100,000 are gonna double, triple in the next few days. No, you gotta work it. You gotta make sure that, I lost 10,000. Let me see where I could invest this other money. You gotta be on it. And there's people they that's their job and they do it for you, but they get a fee every time. And they're only gonna invest it or whatever. Their kickback is gonna be higher. So at the end of the day, they're not looking for your own benefit. They're looking for their own benefit. So yes, I get it. People look at bonds. People have this. People have CDs and all. That's great. That's great. And, you know, all kudos to you. But in reality, I believe that there's no safer product out there than the Index Universal Life. Maybe the earnings is not going to be as high as you might think. But guess what? If the stock market crashes tomorrow, your money is safe. That's the guarantee you get. And I think that should be your number one focus.
You left one point out, though.
Which one?
But my employer matches me.
Oh, yeah.
Great. But so what happens, Jose, if you're trying to open up a restaurant and you're short money and you know I have money and you come to me one day and you're like, hey, Ivan, I'm short this much. And, like if you will, let me borrow it, we'll sign a contract, things like that. What have I just become of you in that restaurant?
My partner.
Your business partner.
Right.
You make money, I make money.
Right.
You lose money, I lose money. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when any time an employer contributes money into your 401k, what have they just become of your 401k?
Partner.
Partner. But you already have a partner, your favorite uncle,
Right.
Uncle Sam.
Yep.
Okay. So that means if that company ever goes bankrupt, has to liquefy their assets, guess what's also under their assets?
401k.
Your 401k. They have the right to take every money, every penny of what they put in there, including yours.
I mean, a good example was YRC, Yellow Freight Company, one of the biggest freight companies in the United States. On August 2023, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. What happened to all those individuals? And I know one driver that he was ready to get retired this year.
He was on YouTube, and I felt so bad for him.
Well, that's another driver, but this guy that I know, he was ready to retire, man. He's like, Jose, I can't wait to retire this year, which is going to be this year.
Lost everything.
Lost everything. His pension plan was gone. 401k was gone. Everything was gone in the blink of an eye. We both saw that video of that gentleman throwing a rant.
Yeah. Right
Going
there
off
inside
on
the
the,
warehouse.
on the supervisor. Supervisor, fuck, I can't do it. Your money's gone. My money's gone too. Like, I understand your concern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here's the difference, though. I guarantee you that supervisor at least got some type of severance pay. Some other drivers didn't get severance pay. Some other dock workers didn't get severance pay. You know, and they're not telling that to people. So yes, you're right. You know, the employer becomes your partner on your 401k. So if they go out of business, they take the money with them. So you're shit out of luck. I'm sorry my language, but that's just the truth, honest truth. There are some employers out there. For example, my employer, he set us up with an IRA, right? We own it. He doesn't own it, right?
Yeah.
So when I leave, I get to take that with me. There's been a couple employees that left. They took the IRA with them, you know?
They rolled it over.
I was able to roll that money over. Why? Because they were losing. They were not putting money in there. Some of them rolled over to an IUL. Others kept the IRA, you know, and just put in the minimum that we're putting $100, $100. But now, like you said, yeah, the employer matches you. When you get your paycheck, you don't see the employee matching you. You don't see how much he's matching you. You think he's matching you that percentage. Maybe he is, but you don't see that on the books because he's paying a fee every month. So in reality, my theory is that matching is a fee that he's paying. And at the end of the day, you're just putting $50, $60, or that 3%, whatever it might be.
Well, by them
That's my theory.
contributing, they're actually able to write it off.
Yes.
So they're not really doing it for you.
Yeah, they're doing it for the
They're
benefit.
doing it for them, for their
Yeah,
bucks.
it's a write off. So, I mean, now that's the biggest scam, right? He broke it down. I hope people see the benefit of it. I mean, plain and simple, red and yellow, right? There's saying black and white, red and yellow. But I mean, now I know I mentioned IRAs. Okay, there's IRAs out there that are kind of similar to the 401k, right? Because they're on the stock market, right? Now, the difference between an IRA and a 401k, what is it, Ivan?
I mean, you're only able to put so much limit into it. You know what I mean? I looked it up right now, and when I was online, and this is information that we can all get, right? It's non-deductible traditional IRA, maximum contribution you could do is $7,000 a year. The benefits, and see, I want people to, if you can share my screen, that way people can actually see. I'm just going to put in benefits of an IRA. Okay. For benefits. Let's just read them real quickly. Okay. Here we go. IRAs are accessible and easy to set up. Traditional IRAs benefits include a tax break. Okay. Which is something that, most people don't get when it comes to 401ks. Okay. Roth IRAs benefit include a tax break in retirement. Okay. And also your IRA's exclusivity to you, yours. It's yours.
Right.
Okay. So those are words we can't use when it comes to 401ks, tax breaks. Well, in a sense, they get to not pay taxes now, they pay taxes later. Okay. So, because it grows tax free.
Right.
You're paying your taxes up front. Okay. So an IRA, you don't get to fund it through most jobs. You fund it after you pay your taxes, and then it shows up because most of the time, most people contribute from their bank accounts. Why? Because the money in your bank account, you've already paid taxes on it. It's money that's either been direct deposited by your employer or money you deposited yourself.
Right.
Okay. So, but there's limits. I don't like limits.
The limit is what, 7,000?
7,000 this year. Last
So-
year was 6,500.
So 7,000 a year, that's the maximum you could put in. A lot of people usually start between $50,
Yeah.
$100. Is it gonna grow? Yes. But is it gonna take time? Yes, it's gonna take time. But if you really wanted to grow, then just divide those 7,000 a year for the 12 months. It's like $583 you put in, and then eventually will grow a little bit better than just putting $100.
You know, there's a saying that started, I don't know what, 10 years ago, YOLO.
Oh yeah, you only
Okay.
live once.
And people have that mentality that you want to live now, in the now.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. But don't sacrifice the future.
Yes.
A lot of people buy so much stuff because the money's burning their pocket instead of putting it somewhere where later on, one, it's going to grow tax-free. Two, they never lose a single penny. Three, they can use while they're alive. But no, they got to spend it now.
So I mean, let me ask you this: so in an IRA, it's a little bit different. Obviously, you know, it's tax-free money. Can you pull out a loan out of it too, as well?
Yes.
And then
But it has its limits.
has its limits.
Yes. How much you can pull out, you know, and everything is based off of what kind of IRA you get.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, for the time that we have in this podcast, obviously we're not going to go over every single one, but there are limits. And there's like different criterias when it comes to it. But those you can get at a bank. You know what I mean? You can get them from, you know, some life insurance agents and so forth. But it all depends on how you cater it to your wants and needs, because everybody's different ages. Everybody has different goals in life. Not everybody can be too aggressive. You know, like everybody always uses that moderate or aggressive and,
Right.
and things like that. Obviously, if you're younger, oh, you should go aggressive. You have time for it.
Right.
You know, but yeah, there's limitations on what you can do with it.
All right. So obviously the IRA, so it sounds a little bit better than the 401k.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a limit to it to put in. It does, your money does work on the stock market, but the company that you mentioned that we represent, that's been around for 175 years, offers IRA too, right? Where it's an index IRA where you're not going to lose a penny. So if the stock market crashes tomorrow, you don't lose money.
And most people don't know what index is.
So you don't lose money. Yes, all the benefits are the same. The only difference is that you don't lose money.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep an IRA, hey, how about you move it to somewhere where you're not going to lose money? And if you want to do $100, keep doing $100. Just have in mind that it's not going to grow as much as you think it is, right? With that being said, Ivan, now let's get to the real situation here. We already broke down 401k. We talked a little bit of IRAs. You know, IRAs is not that bad. You know, IRAs are okay depending on the customer's needs and how, as an agent, you educate your client, right? Now, Ivan, break down an IUL.
All right.
Break down an IUL and the benefits on the IUL, not just on the number side, but on the benefits too, and the whole purpose that stands behind it.
All right. So I've already explained the 401k, the nightmare that it is. Okay, so now I'm going to draw exactly what I draw for my clients when I'm in front of them. I like to simplify things.
Okay.
Okay. So the IUL, what does it stand for? Index, Universal, Life. And let me break these words down real quick for you. The first one is index. It's how money grows. Everybody knows fixed, which is always the same amount that they're always going to make. Market's doing 12% and you're at fixed 1%, you're always going to earn 1% no matter what.
Right.
Market's negative 20, you're earning 1%. The second one, which is obviously what we just went over, variable, that depending on what the market does, your money will do all this and that.
Right.
The last one is index. That means that when the market is going up, you go up. But when the market goes down, you flatline and you lose nothing. This point right here is called principal protection. All the money you made to that point, you keep. And you flat down to a straight 0%, which is better than a negative 20 or 30%. Okay. Now, when the market goes back up, there you go. When the market goes down, up, and down. Out of these three options, which one would you pick, Jose? how you want your money to grow. If you had the choice to pick, which one of these three would you pick?
The index.
The index. Okay. So you are telling me what you would pick. I'm not telling you what to pick. Okay. Just keep that in mind. The next one is universal, and we'll get to that right now. So this account right here is a savings account that you put money into, and it grows, like we talked about right now, index. But you're making interest off of this. And what's the first thing you got to pay out of interest in life? The first thing that comes out when you're making an investment and you're earning interest and you're ready to pull out that interest, what's the first thing you got to pay out?
Oh, fees.
And?
Penalty fees? Fees?
We just talked about it.
Taxes.
Yes. Taxes. So in this account, it comes with permanent life insurance. So I'm just going to write right here, life insurance. Okay. This right here is called the cash value. So every time I sit down with a client, I ask him, hey, Jose, how much are you right now contributing to your 401k? And come up with a number.
Or like 200.
200.
Right.
Okay. Well, in my head, I'm not asking you to spend $200 on this because you already are. All I'm going to do is recycle it or put it into the right path. So, Jose, I'm going to show you what a $200 IUL would do for you. Again, if you come at me with excuses if I can't pay 200, you're already doing it.
Right.
Okay. So, out of this 200, when I write an illustration for you, it's going to tell me how much of this 200 is going to go to your life insurance and how much it goes into the pot. And when we do the illustrations correctly, more of your money goes in here. And this, the life insurance, it's what allows this account to grow and grow and grow and make your interest tax-free for life. Okay. You never have to pay taxes ever in the future. Taxes go up to 30%. Who cares?
Right.
The market's at negative 20. Who cares? I didn't lose a single penny. And now, when you pass away, not only would your family get the life insurance, but they also get the cash value, and you leave behind generational wealth, tax-free to your loved ones, and it avoids probate.
So let me ask you this, Ivan. So when they say, it's not true, they don't get the death benefit, the insurance stays with your accumulated cash value, what does that mean?
They're not wrong if the agent set it up that way. But there is a way to set it up, which should be like a standard where the family gets both.
Both, right.
But there is a button in every illustration when an agent is doing it. Again, guys, this has nothing to do with the company. This has to do with the agent.
Agent.
Okay. With the agent, okay, that is looking out for your best interest. If they set it up properly, okay, they will get both.
That will get both.
And that's called increasing, which means every year what you end up leaving behind to your family increases because the money in your policy is growing every year.
Right.
So that means every year that I live, and then eventually I'll end up leaving more and more behind because not my life insurance is fixed, but my cash value is growing.
It's growing.
So when I pass away in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, it's going to be a different amount that I leave behind every year.
So if it's structured correctly, because the agent is looking for your own benefit as the client and not their pockets, you're saying that if I get a policy of $100,000 and it grows $50,000 of cash value, and if I pass away, my family's getting $150,000.
Correct. Tax-free.
Tax-free.
Avoids probate. Yeah.
That's if it's structured correctly by the agent.
Correct.
If the agent is doing his due diligence on the benefit of the client.
Yeah.
I gotta label this correctly, bro, because there's a lot of agents out there that I've seen, you know.
Look, I'm not here. By the way, I'm not here saying that the company we represent is number one. Forbes did that for me.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I will say is when it comes to our agency, Jose, what did I do back in April? Where did I take the agents?
Oh, you took them to the mothership.
Yeah. I took them to Texas directly to go visit the company we represent. Mm-hmm. Why? because I want them to hear it from the horse's mouth. I don't want them to hear it from Ivan.
Right.
I don't want them to hear it from other agents that might have already maybe done things their way.
Yeah.
I want them to hear it directly from the horse's mouth. I took them to Texas, okay, Addison, Texas, to go visit National Life Group. And on there, they took us in. They had this beautiful setup for us. Every manager from every department came in, spoke with us. We had a fun-filled day of learning and asking questions. Mm-hmm. I want my agents to have every resource available so we can assist our clients in the Monterey Bay area and all of California to be able to use these products and cater them and set them up for themselves and their family, including children. Mm-hmm. Going to now the word universal is when you pull money out of here, yes, you can take out a loan, and I'll show you exactly how loans work here. When you take out a loan out of this, you can use it for whatever you want. I know when it comes to 401ks, they give you certain tax breaks or penalty breaks when it comes to like if you're going to buy a house.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Here, college fund, buying a house, getting married, taking a trip, opening up a business, when you pass away.
Ivan, now that you mentioned that, can you clarify a little bit more specific? For example, let's say I have accumulated cash value of $50,000, and I'm going to pull out $20,000 house renovations.
Okay.
Technically, everybody thinks I'm going to have to pay back, right? Mm-hmm. Which, in a sense, it is true. I have to pay it back. And so, supposedly, the interest that I'm paying back, 4 or 5%, maybe 6, I don't know, 7%, I have to pay back. Is that interest going towards the company, or is that interest going to me?
To you. Okay. But let me explain how how it works. So I'm going to show again on my screen. You mentioned you had $50,000 in here. Okay, so $50,000, and you want to take out 20. Okay, that leaves you with how much?
30.
30,000. And you are correct if this was a bank, but this is not a bank. Mm-hmm. Okay, so keep in mind that when you pull out a loan, there is interest charged to it.
Right.
Okay, and it's minimal compared to what you're earning in this policy. Okay. So the insurance company is going to say, Jose, we are going to let you borrow our $20,000 because we have collateral. Okay, remember that, guys. He has collateral. He has money in there to pay it back. So that means while the company is letting them borrow their 20 grand, Jose is going to continue to earn interest on the full 50. So this money in the future, Jose, let's say as you keep on putting money and dumping money into this, now you have $150,000 in there and you pass away. Your wife is going to get the life insurance. You have $150,000. That's $350,000 she's going to get. At that point, if you did not choose to pay this back while you're alive, because you don't have to, if you don't want to send those extra payments or so forth, they're going to finally pull out that $20,000 plus the interest accumulated. But your wife still will get the rest tax-free. Because that 20 grand at that time served you a purpose.
Yeah, it did.
But you will start earning interest in the full balance.
Now, here's another question for you, Ivan, because I know a lot of people will be throwing these questions around. Will be like, will that reflect on the statement? Like, for example, like you mentioned right now, I'm going to borrow $20,000, but the bank is going to they're going to front me those $20,000,
right,
and they're going to keep mine on the community cash value to keep growing. Is that going to reflect on the statement?
Yeah, it's going to show their growth and so forth. Everything's going to be on there.
Again, if it's structured correctly.
Correct. And they have an app that they can use that the company gives them. Okay.
So they don't have to call us. They could do it on the app, and they get the money in 24, 48 hours, right?
24, 48 hours. If they need the money, they just go on there, type in, hey, I need 20,000. Here's my bank info. Enter, direct deposit, 24 to 48 hours. Use it for whatever you want. You don't have to report it in your income tax. Mm-hmm. Okay. You don't have to pay it back if you don't want to. Okay. No penalties and no taxes. Wow, that's a scam, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge scam.
A big scam. Yeah. You know, it's crazy that you mentioned that you have to report it to taxes. There's some tax preppers that say that you could report it if you want to.
Why would you?
Exactly. If you don't have to, right?
Why would you?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We're going to give you 5 free oil changes, but if you want to pay for the first one, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, because I know there's gonna be a lot of people. Oh yeah, you do have a reporter, because you get your money and da da da.
Look, a lot of people that say that you have to report this because they haven't done their due diligence.
Yeah,
Look, if I don't know the answer to something, I'll straight up say I don't know it. Doesn't make me dumb.
yeah.
What makes me dumber is having to go fix it later when I finally get the answer. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with saying you don't know something.
But what is another benefit of the IUL that offers besides that?
Okay.
That gives you that opportunity not only to pull money out, but to home improvements, college or whatever you might need. That money. But what else? What other benefits it gives you?
I got two more.
Go for it. Bro.
Okay.
Break it down.
Everybody wants to retire. So after they get the final, by the way, they get to choose when they want to stop paying. I always structure it to like the age of 65, which is normally when people want to retire and so forth. Now, can you pay for longer? Yeah. Can you pay less? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's structured in a way where when you're ready to retire and you're like, I'm going to stop making payments here. I want you guys to now start giving me a pension. That pension will last you to the age of 120. Yes, we don't make it to 120. We might make it longer if we don't have stress over money.
Yeah.
But the thing is we want you to understand is that you'll never run out of money. And this will be tax-free because your money that's still in the account is still earning interest. Okay. And by the way, this is compounding interest. And for people that don't know what compounding interest is, I'm just going to explain it real quickly without drawing it. I'm just going to say you have a 10 grand, you earn interest on the first year. On the second year, it's a 10 grand plus the interest. That's your new balance. And now you're earning interest on that new balance. So obviously you're going to earn more interest. And then it starts to get to the point where it's just doubling and tripling every year.
I'm glad you brought that up and you broke it down.
Okay. It's like a snowball effect. Everybody has seen cartoons where they were kids and they always saw this character on top of a mountain and they get a little snowball and they see bad guys coming up and they throw the snowball and that snowball starts rolling slowly at first and small and then it starts picking up speed and getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
That's how IUL works.
Compound
You can't
interest.
expect to be like 5 years into this and be like, I'm rich. And
Or
then
the
you go
first
and
year, like I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it. We're like, oh well, this client invested $100 a year, and that's $1,200, and he only has $300 on his cash value. What's going on?
Those
you
are
just
for-
you just broke it down. It's compound interest. It takes time,
Those are for people that do this. And I'm going to show this real quick in a drawing.
and that's what people need to understand. And again, comes out to the agent. The agent needs to do a better job explaining that to their clients. Like, hey, it's gonna take time. You're not gonna be rich overnight.
Yeah. So let me draw this out real quick. In this example, Jose, we use that you're going to pay $200 a month,
Right.
which comes out to $2,400 a year. The insurance company also has what's called a minimum payment in case one day you can't pay the minimum payment. And I'm just going to use in this example, you're paying $200, your minimum payment is going to be $80. Oops, 80%. $80. That means that if one day you cannot pay $200, let's just say that the cost of insurance in this case was the $80. As long as you pay the $80 and you're paying the cost of the insurance, you will be fine. Okay. But Ivan, I can't pay the $80. We're in a pandemic. I'm not working right now. What's going to happen? Well, you have cash value. And as much cash value as you have in there, it's going to start paying that $80 for as many months or as much money as you have in there until you're able to start making payments again. Okay. So you understand the minimum payment?
Yeah.
But they also give you a maximum payment. And let's say in this example, it's $8,700 max. You're already committing yourself to $2,400. So in this example, they're allowing you to put an additional $6,300 if you wanted to, straight into here. You're injecting steroids straight into your plan. So for those people that are doing and dumping as much money as they can, you know what I mean? Instead of putting it in the bank or under the mattress or burying it in the backyard, okay? They're dumping it into here so that way their money grows faster because bigger balances, interest, more money. Okay. Yeah. So, yes, for people that want to pull money after the first year, because you got to leave it in there for at least a year, it's for those that are dumping the maximum amount. And this can go great for business owners because let's just say in the future, they do have a lot of money in there and they need to buy photography equipment, a new truck for their company, whatever the business they have, instead of not go getting a loan,
You just get it from there.
infinite banking. There you go.
Right.
Okay. Call it what you want. I call it my piggyback. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you want to use this for, it's yours. That's what the universal works for.
Right.
Right now, the second benefit, I'm going to go into the word life. Okay. So in this example, we said that you had, oh gosh, we're just going to put that you have,
It was 50,000.
no, that's cash value.
Oh.
Let's say you had $200,000 of permanent life insurance.
Okay.
Okay. So out of the 200,000, I'm just going to put it over here. 200,000 of life insurance. When would you see that money, Jose?
When I die.
When you die.
I'm not even going to see it. My wife is going to see
That
it.
is correct. But what if I told you that you were able to access this money while you're alive in certain circumstances? Would you believe me?
No. 'Cause
No.
nobody's ever told me about it.
Okay. This is what's called living benefits. Okay. Living benefits means that there's certain times in our lives where we might need this. Kind of like in work, we might need workers' comp if we get hurt. Okay. So the way the living benefits work in this is in the case of, again, we'll use the word workers' comp. It's probably way on top. Workers' comp, you pray to God that you never need it. Okay. Because of the fact that you're hurt. But these plans right here not only help you if you live long, we already talked about retirement, we're
Right.
using this money for, infinite banking, but what if you die too soon also? You leave behind generational wealth to your family. But what if you become ill? Okay. There's 5 living benefits that come built into your plan for free. And by the way, I looked at one of the plans and it specifically says no cost. Okay, guys, before you had to pay for this. But for example, in a terminal illness, if you receive a doctor telling you that based on your reports or test studies that they did on you, you have less than 24 months to live. Most insurance companies, it's 12 months or less. With National Life Group, it's 24 months or less. In the example that we gave you that you had $200,000 of life insurance, they're going to ask you, Jose, out of that $200,000, how much money do you want up front right now while you're still alive? Well, I need 100. What if you want to take an experimental procedure that might save your life? What if you need medicine? What if you need in-home care? Or what if you want to do your bucket list? Or what if you want to take your family out on a vacation to make lasting memories while you're still here?
Right.
Where you can get that money from?
Not
Playing
my
the lottery?
Not my 401k.
No, not at all. Yeah. So this plan comes with terminal illness. The second one that it comes with is what's called chronic illness. And chronic illness is there's 6 daily things everybody should be able to do on their own every single day. But if in the last 12 months, for a period of 90 days, which is 3 months, you cannot perform 2 out of the 6 daily activities, which is taking a bath, holding in your bowels, getting dressed, eating, going to the bathroom, or moving from one place to another. Say in the future you need help taking a bath, getting dressed, and moving from one place to another. Now, your life insurance, your 200K, will start giving you a monthly mini pension, tax-free, not a loan, to be able to sustain. Because look, if you got workers' comp, Jose, do they give you 100% of your salary?
Nope.
No.
They don't.
They probably give you between 50, 60%, maybe 70.
Takes a month or 2 months, maybe 3 months till you see that money hit the
But
bank
guess what
account.
didn't get hurt?
My bills.
Your bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
They don't
bills are
care.
still going like this.
You give a perfect example once of when you were starting your cancer treatments on how your pickup truck, they were like, oh, we're so sorry to hear that you got cancer, but can your family make the payment?
Yeah.
They went over it real quick.
Yes,
The situation.
they did.
Guarantee you didn't make you feel any better. So here, with this life insurance, permanent life insurance, with this chronic illness living benefit rider, you can get an extra 2, 3, 4, 5 grand out of your life insurance on top of whatever work thing you're getting workers' comp. So maybe you're even making more money than you were at while you were working. But the important thing is, Jose, is that you get to focus on getting better.
Getting better.
Without getting stressed about the bills.
Right.
Okay. So that's a great help that comes with this. Now, the third and fourth one is what's called critical illness and critical injury. Critical illness has to do with these right here, which if you look at them, blindness. I currently have 2 friends right now that are kind of losing their vision, younger than me, due to diabetes.
Right.
Cancer, cystic fibrosis, heart attacks, strokes, things you see so common. And by the way, guys, there's a lot more on this list, but they can't fit all of them in this pamphlet.
Right.
But there's a lot more on here, okay? That, again, out of your life insurance, they will either give you a pension or a lump sum if you need it. When it comes to critical injury, coma. Can you speak while you're in a coma?
Nope.
When you're paralyzed, can you do everything? By the way, when you're paralyzed, instead of your front door with steps, you now have to add what's called a ramp. Those are not free. And don't try to build one yourself. Okay. Severe burns.
Right.
I have a friend right now on the Instagram that he's an amazing barbecue guy. And he had to stop for at least a week because he showed pictures of his leg. 3rd-degree burns.
Wow.
Okay. His business is taking a little bit of an impact right now. That's where this would come into play. And traumatic brain injury. See, these right here, if something like this were to happen and you're in a coma, when are you going to go to work?
Who knows? Maybe in a year, 2 years.
Okay. Or whenever you come out of it, right?
Right.
But imagine having living benefits where now that money is taking care of your family while you're in a coma. Your wife can take time off of work, or your husband can take time off of work to be able to be there by your side, taking care of the children.
And just to clarify, that's money up to 80% of those 200,000, tax free, no deductions, no penalties, none of this, none of that. Can your 401k do that for you?
No.
Can you IRA do that for you? Even if it's an index, unfortunately, they don't offer the same benefits as an IO does. Even if you have your IRA on an index where you're not losing money, but it doesn't give you this opportunity. It does front you terminal illness, right, within the first 24 months, but it doesn't give you the rest of the benefits. So now,
You're lucky to get a get well card.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now, is infinite banking a scam? No, it's not.
It's a scam to some.
It's a scam to some. There's going to be agreement, disagreement. There's going to be people continue to make videos talking about infinite banking, talking about this, and I'm okay with it. I just wanted to bring you guys awareness of how the biggest scam, in my opinion, is 401k. We didn't even talk about California pension plan. That would be another topic.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's just like you guys make the decision. Is your 401k better than an IUL? Is your IRA, even if it's an index, better than an IUL? Now, have in mind that the only way that you could generate generational wealth is how much money you're going to put in. You know, if you think you're going to be rich with $100, I'm sorry to say this, you're not.
By the way, we talked about the 401k, but just don't get that mistaken, guys. 403bs, 457s, TSPs, CalPERS, CalCERS, they all work the same. They're just different tax codes that generally have almost the exact same rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm really tired of hearing, well, my 401k is different. In what way?
Yeah, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
They're all the same. It's different if you're working it.
Yeah.
It's different if you're logging in on Fidelity account at 4 a.m. and you're moving your money, or you're seeing the performance on the stocks. You're like, you know what, this one sucks. Let me over here. Then it's working for you. And my respects to you because you're taking the time to do it. But a lot of our people are not doing that. When I say our people, it's because we live in a community, Hispanics, the majority, they don't know, they have no knowledge about that. And that's why Ivan and myself are here to educate them on that.
Now, Jose, do rich people exist?
Yeah.
They do, right?
Right.
Okay. And how many people can you right now name off, and just use one hand, okay? How many people do you know right now that has retired off a 401k and stayed retired?
None.
But there we go. When people say, "Oh, if you jump off a bridge, are you gonna? If you see someone jump off a bridge, are you gonna do it?" No. But there we are. Yeah. The thing about it is that we're all looking at the want ads and looking for jobs that have 401ks and benefits.
Right.
Why? Benefits because we can't afford them on our own. We think it's too expensive. Okay. And number two, 401ks, because my grandmother told me, get a job with, or told my mom, get a job, 401k, bank account. I'm born. My mom tells me, get a job, 401k, bank account. So what am I going to do when I have kids?
Same thing.
Tell them the exact same thing. But guess what? My grandmother was broke. My mom was broke. I'm broke. So I'm teaching my kids to be broke. Like you said in the beginning, can we still have time to change this? The mentality, yes. And then no longer, by the way, guys, everybody listening to this podcast, moving forward, it's not about knowledge, knowing knowledge. Now it becomes ignorance.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that in our culture, it's not that we're lacking knowledge. We're just being ignorant. The knowledge has been slapping us in the face for the longest time.
Yeah.
We just choosing not to do it. El banco, they're a bunch of rateros. You know what I mean? Or this or that.
Yeah.
Because we listen to the doña down the corner that's always talking. And we listen to, like I said, stop listening to broke people on how to become wealthy. And by the way, guys, I'm not trying to tell you guys wealthy is millions of dollars. Wealthy means different for most people. I grew up in the ranch. Right now, at the age of 15, if I would have been 15 years old right now, during the summer, I would have been working for TNA cutting lettuce. So I've been there. You know, the lights went out. I had to go get wood, turn on a fire so my mom can cook, and so I can warm up water so we can take a bath. So before people start judging who I am or judging you or judging agents, most of us come exactly where you guys came from or are right now.
Yeah.
All we're asking you guys is we want to help you better your situation with the money you're already spending.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're not asking you to start IULs for $500, $1,000 a month. For kids, you can start them as low as $50 a month. And it's one of the best gifts. And start normalizing this. I haven't never talked to you about this, Jose. But let's start normalizing this. A parent gets their child, 2, 3, 4-year-old, a $50 IUL. And when they send out the invitations for the birthday party, they can put down, instead of go to Target or go to Walmart or buying toys that he's only going to use for a week and then leave it there, why not contribute $20, $30 into my kid's college fund
Right.
or their IUL? And here's a QR code or whatever.
Right.
Let's start normalizing that.
Yeah. Which is not a bad idea, bro.
You know what I mean? Why isn't that such a thing? You know, everybody goes to these gender reveals, blow up half the world, you know what I mean, doing them and stuff. But why don't we just start giving our future a chance? Do you want to understand the why in politics you hardly see any Hispanics or people of color? I mean, Obama made it. But you want to know why? Because the money, white people have the majority of the money because they have IULs and they've had it for over 100 years. And they have the capital to do what they do.
Right.
Even a TV celebrity became president. Okay?
Yeah.
So if we start ensuring people of color, Hispanics, you know, what's going to happen? The money's going to shift. And by the way, if we start having more life insurance on ourselves, I guarantee you there'll be less killings.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys can read between the lines on those. I'm not going to get political here. Okay, but the thing is that now wealth is getting transferred. Even E40 said that you can start a life insurance plan as low as $15 a month. He's not wrong. You know what I mean? He raps about it. He's trying to educate the culture.
Yeah.
But what do? We buy guns, we buy rims, we buy stuff we don't need to impress people we don't like.
Right.
We have to start making changes. And all we're doing right now, guys, is trying to educate you on what you have. And by the way, Google it, and you'll see that 59.5, that 73 rule, all that stuff, versus what you can have.
Yeah.
And by the way, you probably would have never known this unless you were trying to type in area code 702 and typed in an extra 7.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I mean, I know I mentioned earlier that maybe with the $100, you know, can't grow. Yeah, you're right. You could grow because it gives the opportunity to put more money into the account. But you just gotta have that in mind that if you want to start something with that, you gotta make sure you put the extra money in that account. Do not waste that money somewhere else. You know, put it on your piggy bank. You know.
Can you borrow from it later?
Yeah.
Okay, so does it hurt putting it into the account?
Yeah.
No, it does
doesn't
not.
hurt.
Yeah.
So just do it. You know, The whole purpose for this episode was just for me to throw a rant about infinite banking. It's not a scam. It's not. 401k, my opinion, it's a scam. Obviously, later on, another episode will run about CalSTRS, CalPERS, and all that. But as far as the difference and what the benefit of an IUL could do for you, borrow money tax free. You don't have to pay it back, right? What else? It can help
Your own workers' comp.
your own workers' comp. It could help you when you're most needed. If you get diagnosed with cancer, you need treatment. You're gonna be off of work for a year. Guess what? You have money there, right? So that is the beauty of an IUL. I'm selling you the benefits. I'm not selling you what you become rich. You're gonna become a millionaire. Yeah, you could, but what I'm selling you is the benefits of why you should have one. Yeah. Period. IRAs, they're great, but does they give you the living benefits? Right? Does it give you that? No. Well, you have an IRA, we could switch it to an IRA with us. It's going to be an index, but you're not going to have the living benefits.
Look, man, I walk into 7-Eleven, bro, when the lottery is at like almost $1 billion, right? Mm-hmm. Line out the door. And I'm just trying to buy a Slurpee, right? And it's amazing how many people want to become rich, but nobody's willing to work for it.
Right.
And the thing about it is that even with taxes, even with the lottery, you got to pay taxes.
Yeah, it's a hefty one.
And then what are you going to do with it afterwards? Blow it all so you can end up more broke than you were before you were playing. The thing about it is that you want to know how passionate I am about talking this to people. My iWatch has gone off 5 times telling me to breathe. Okay? The thing about it is that, we can sit here till we turn blue, Jose, but all you guys got to do is make one phone call or, ask for a simple appointment so we can sit down and cater this to you guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you feel like, no, at least you got the info.
Yeah.
But right now, many people are saying no without getting the info. And the info is free. Right. Guys, most of the time I bring pan dulce to your house so we can make it more like a family thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not there, hey, you're going to die, sign here.
Yeah.
No. By the way, did we even mostly talk about death in this conversation? No. We used about how life insurance plans protect your money.
A good example is how an IUL is different from 401k and IRA, and that's what I wanted to point out. That's what I wanted to address. Like I mentioned earlier, you got all these entrepreneurs that use their whole life index universal life.
And before anybody asks me, what if your company goes bankrupt? This company has been around for 175 years. They've been through 2 world wars. They've been through all the depressions, recessions. Everything that's going on right now is nothing new to them. And your 401k is how old? 40-something years old?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 47. My sister's 45. 45 years old? And you're going to tell me that you rather put your trust into that?
Yeah, 1978.
Yeah. So my thing is, when I say we, I'm talking about National Life Group, the fact that I'm associated with them. We have tested time. We have made more millionaires than most other companies have. Mm-hmm. They have been there to take care of so many people during the big earthquake of San Francisco, along with so many others. It's just doing your research before you talk.
Right. And also just be careful who you talk to. There's a lot of agents out there that are money hungry, that are only looking out for their own benefit, and they're not structuring policies correctly. And at the end of the day, the clients get the end of the stick. Well, I was told this, I was told that, and at the end of the day, it's a bunch of lies. And I feel like we clarify that a little bit. We're not here to talk shit about other agents or talk shit about certain individuals. I'm just here to prove facts and just to let you guys know that my opinion, I don't know yours, bro, but my opinion, the biggest scam is a 401k. And Ivan, you just broke it down to them, detail, and it's just like, what other proof do you guys want, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, I hope you guys learned something from this episode. We'll be back again, and we'll touch bases on CalSTRS and CalPERS and all that, and a little bit more on 403B, 457, because people are like, what is that? Some people don't even know what a 403B or 457 are. Some people do. Maybe, again, you mentioned it. It mirrors the same thing as a 401k, but what if we give an opportunity or let you know that there's another 403B or 457 where money's safe, right? But eventually we'll touch base on that later on. Ivan, is there anything else you want to say, bro? Anything else?
I encourage people to write in the comments of what else they want to hear from us. I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge out there. But knowledge is not power unless applied. Okay, we a lot of people consider themselves smart,
Right.
but they're not doing anything.
Right.
So what's the point of being smart?
Right.
I consider myself being a very knowledgeable person, and all I'm trying to do now that I'm already in my up years is share it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to share it to people. I've taken the time to visit companies in different states, ask the top heads so many questions, so I can go ahead and bring it to you guys. Because I was once there. I once had a company that matched me dollar for dollar in my 401k. And I thought it was the best thing because that's what everybody would tell me. I was going based off what everybody did. But when I stopped working for that company, I took out my 401k and I realized how much I had to give back to Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
It's like, it's wow.
Yeah. Again, nobody's educated on that. Not even your employer will educate you that. Not even HR. And that's the sad part about it. And guys, if you guys have a 401k, you guys are getting ready to retire, you want to save as much money as you can, send us a message, and then we'll help you out. Ivan and myself will help you out. We'll sit down with you guys. Our consultation is totally free. We don't charge for our time.
We do charge water.
Worst case scenario, you walk out knowing more, or you walk out doing the right decision for you and your family. Right. I don't have anything else, bro. Again, thank you for being here, for being my co-host in this episode, Legacy Life segment. Before I jump into my sponsors, I want to thank Hoax Jerky. Producer, I don't know if you could put the Hoax Jerky. Maria, thank you very much for bringing some jerky to in the morning. The guys, the production team wanted some. Maria, the best jerky out there, local made. If you want to order beef jerky from her, you can reach out to her at area code 831-417-6347. She offers a free delivery if a purchase is $40 or more. She offers a free shipping if the purchase is $40 or more. She has, I have right now teriyaki. There's lemon pepper. There's lemon bagel. There's Cheetos, something, barbecue. She has a lot of selections. I highly recommend her. I love her product. I know the guys love it. And Ivan's is going to be the first time Ivan tastes it, so I know Ivan's going to like it. So, guys, hit up Maria Hoax Jerky. Again, you could call her, DM her at 831-417-6347. And with that being said, let's go to our next sponsors. We're going to go ahead and start with Juan Avila Photography. Guys, come on. Realtors, loan officers, anybody out there that is looking for quality headshot that is going to elevate your game in any way possible, either it's on your website, either it's on your business card, whatever you want to use, even Tinder, your OnlyFans, whatever you want to use it. Juan Avila is your guy. Come on, you got to look good. You don't go to freaking indoor swap meet and on the tiene la cortina, you take that little picture right there, like this. Don't do that, guys. Hit up professional photographer Juan Avila Photography. He's your guy to go to. Tell him that Legacy Life sent you, and you gotta let him know that Legacy Life sent you. He'll work something out with you, and go from there. High quality photographs and anything. Right now, he's doing headshots. He does engagement shots, and I don't know what else he does. But other than that, also, guys, remember that. We're going to be back next week, hopefully, with another episode. And we're going to figure out we're going to hear you guys' comments. We're going to figure out what you guys want to hear. If not, we'll just bring something else. But now moving to our second sponsor, Luis from LC1 Production. Guys, again, it goes to anybody out there that wants to expand their business, that want high-quality video. There's guys out there right now, youngsters are putting video out there and all this, man, that I've seen videos where I'm just like, what are they looking at? Are they looking at the camera? Are they looking at the ceiling? What are they looking at, right? I don't even know. That doesn't even look professional. I mean, come on, why not go with the professions like Luis LC1 Productions? High quality. Look at those videos. High quality video. You're going to get every dollar you spend, every cent is going to be worth it. Guys, hit up Luis LC1. Tom Jose send you. Legacy Life send you for a little something. All right, guys. Last but not least, this segment is brought to you by Legacy Life Insurance, which is my company. Guys, if you guys are looking for a life insurance policy, you guys have questions about what life insurance can do, or you're looking for a final expense, or you want to know more about the IULs, myself, Jose, or Ivan could help you out. Just shoot me a DM on my Instagram page, or which is a legacy life insurance, and then we will go from there. And we'll be more than happy to go to your house, or you come to our office. Our consultation is totally free. And like we mentioned earlier, the worst case scenario is that you learn something and you walk out educated, or you walk out happy knowing that you did something good for your family. With that being said, that's it, guys. We're out. We'll be back next time. Peace.